Everything is happening well as he wants, cause no one has the courage to go against him. Jungkook is looking at his hand because he doesn't wash it, cause whenever he smells that blood smell, it gives him an unknowingly satisfaction. That blood is none other than Hwayeon's blood that gives an unknown satisfaction to him. His deep dark desire is growing more for a desire of owning that person, to possess that person, a desire to claim that person as his property, as that person belongs to him and him only. The meeting got over perfectly as he came back to the mansion. He goes straight to his room and rests for a while, as he has to go to a party in the evening today. On the other side, Hwayeon is doing her job cleaning the rooms and washing clothes, but unfortunately, it's her not-so-lucky day today. As she was washing clothes, then she sat down on the floor as she became tired, as she couldn't sleep much in the night as she has to wake up early cause in her house. She always gets up at 9 p.m., but today she has to wake up early in the morning cause of her job, and she is not habitual of getting up early, so she felt tired, as well as sleepy, and she fell asleep there. Hwayeon got up after 1 hour as her sleep got disturbed by the sound of the tearing sound of something. Hwayeon immediately got up and saw it was a shirt whose buttons are broken and the shirt got torn. Hwayeon's eyes got teary after seeing this, as she knows Mr. John wears different types of clothes, so it must be his son's shirt. Thinking it's Mr. John's son's shirt, her heart sank in with fear as her eyes became more teary, thinking what's she gonna do now? That shirt is already torn now. Hwayeon held her head in fear and started thinking about how to resolve her problem. Evening. It's evening and Jungkook is going to a party. And he is searching everywhere for his favorite blue shirt, which he doesn't find anywhere in his wardrobe. Jungkook POV. Jungkook, where's my blue shirt? Saying that he started searching for his blue shirt when can't find it in his cupboard. He got angry and came downstairs and started shouting at the maid saying, "All maids come here now." Jungkook is really angry, and on his one shout, everyone is gathered in the hall bowing their head towards him. He is still in his previous clothes, then he sees everyone standing in the line. After seeing everyone there, he thoroughly looked at everyone and sat on the couch like a king. Then he shouted, "Who washed clothes today?" He asked in his deep dark cold voice, and gearing him, all maids are looking down in fear without uttering a word from their mouth. They all are trembling in fear, knowing what is now going to happen now. As he again shouts angrily, "I asked who washed clothes today." When no one answers his questions, he looks towards the head maid. The head maid knows that it's Hwayeon who does this, but she doesn't want to tell the truth as it's Hwayeon's first day of her work. But she can't put her life in danger before she goes to speak or say something. Jungkook sees there is a girl who is hiding behind the head maid. He gets up from the couch and walks towards her. Hwayeon, who is trying to hide herself behind the head maid, see Jungkook is walking towards her. In fear, her breath got hitched, seeing him come towards her as she said in her stuttering voice to the head maid, "PL. Ease. SA. VME." Hwayeon whispered to the head maid, pleading her with her teary eyes from behind. Jungkook looks at head maid, and in fear, head maid get away from his sight, and Jungkook's eyes fell on Hwayeon. Jungkook's POV. As the head maid got away from there, my eyes fell on the little figure who is shivering and crying silently in fear. Her dressing is really simple, and she has dark brown long straight hair which is now in tight bun, and she wearing Sid's clothes and her skin pinkish white. She is looking so fragile and small. But she is not looking at me, she looking down, and I can't see her face. And then I asked her in my deep dark husky voice, "Did you wash clothes today?" But Hwayeon didn't say anything that makes him more angry as he is right now. As he sees she is joining her hand, still silently crying, and while bowing her head more down in fear and nervousness. Now Jungkook asked in a more loud voice, more like shouting at her, said, "I asked you something? Can't you speak?" Hearing his deep dark loud voice, a chill ran down her spine as she said in her trembling voice, "I-MS. Sorry for." Hwayeon didn't complete her words. It looked like her words are stuck in her throat and are not coming out from her mouth. Jungkook in his deep husky voice said, "Look at me." Hearing his voice, Hwayeon looks at him. Jungkook POV. As I told her to look at me, she immediately did, and I can sense that she is scared as she looks at me. I lost in her beautiful greenish gray eyes, but I don't like the thing is her tears, which is in her those beautiful eyes. Hwayeon, while looking at him, she said in his stuttering voice, I'm MS. Sorry, Master PL. Please F. 4. Jungkook stared at her, without blinking his eyes, as he didn't care for anyone. Then his eyes went on the scar which she got when she ran away from there when Jungkook came.
She still didn't treat that wound.
Looking at that scar, Jungkook smirked as he found his claiming desire. Jungkook saw she was crying, so he told other maids to leave, but YN is standing there looking down. Jungkook took a step more towards her and touched her face to wipe her tears, but YN flinched badly and stepped back thinking he was going to slap her. "Jungkook, who are you?" In a shivering voice, YN replied, Maid ma, master." Jungkook's heart is beating so fast after hearing her voice and looking at her as he again said, "So you washed my clothes?" YN nodded her head and said, "Actually ISL, slept while W, washing CL, clothes as it's my F, first D day, and IW, wake up early T today." YN said that all in a whisper voice, but Jungkook feels like his heart is gonna blast as she is explaining like a small child whose mother is scolding her. Jungkook in a little calm tone asked him, "Is that so?" YN look around and try to find his mom dad so they can save her from him. Jungkook understands what she is thinking and he says shocking to her, "They are not here to save you." YN looks at him and her innocent eyes become bigger in shock and she lowers her head like she is a thief and she is caught stealing. With a lot of courage, she looks at him with her innocent eyes and he smirks whispering, "From tomorrow on you will only work for me. Understood?" YN nodded her head, still crying, thinking that he was going to beat her, but he gave her just simple work. But she is unaware of the fact that this is going to change her whole life completely. Jungkook in a little calm yet ordering tone said, "From tomorrow, no need to wake up early, and it's her duty to prepare everything for me from sunrise to sunset. Be in my room at sharp 9 o'clock. Evening." It's evening and YN is scared as Jungkook is first time talking with her, and it gives her an unknown sensation. It was more scary as she thought it was. It's her first day of work, and she met with Jungkook on her first day. Jungkook is sitting in a bar, then a stripper comes and starts touching his chest. She is about to kiss him, but he throws her in the floor and shouts dangerously, "How dare you, cheap slut, touching me? Do you think my standards are this low?" Throwing a wine glass on the floor and ordered his guards to take her away from his eyes. Hearing their boss order, guards rushes in and dragged her. "Taeyong." Jungkook, calm down. Let's continue our meeting. Any person who sees the scene can easily get an idea of his anger and his cold, dark personality. The meeting is over successfully, and they came back to the mansion. It's midnight and the mansion is all silent, only his footsteps sound can be heard. Jungkook is in the bathroom and taking a bath. Suddenly, he remembered that slut. After some time, he came out from the bathroom after taking a shower and called his guards. Jungkook on call, "Kill that bitch," saying that he cut the call. Author's POV. Well, as you guys know, Jungkook is a mafia and dealing with this type of stuff is his part of life, but he never let down his standard of using bar girls or stripper for his pleasure. He never touched any woman to satisfy himself. On the other side, YN, who is sleeping but suddenly got a nightmare that her mother is loosing her, asking to meet her. YN opened her eyes and saw herself in her maid's room. She wiped her sweat and drank water. YN's POV. YN to herself, "I will go to check on mom tomorrow," saying that she again lay down on her bed struggling with her unwanted thoughts. She slept again. She got up early in the morning, but then Jungkook's words roam in her head that she doesn't have to wake up early and only work for him. YN take a shower and look at the time, as still there is 1 hour for Jungkook wake up. YN took her phone and started look at her photos, which reminds her mother and previous moments. Her tears started to flow remembering them, and her heart is also filled with grief. YN didn't notice time as she is lost in her past memories. Then she heard some noises and saw maids are cleaning the hallway. She asked her the way of Jungkook's room and Maid tell her. YN get there and stand in front of the room. The gate is already unlocked and YN entered in without asking permission as a shiver ran down her spine as the room is all dark, only one dim light is on. She gulped down her saliva and see Jungkook is still sleeping on his king-sized bed. YN cleaned every room in this mansion, but she never cleaned this room, and this room is the biggest room of the mansion. YN went closer and saw he is sleeping shirtless. He has built up bulky body which can be seen just looking at his back. YN don't know how to wake him up. Should she shake his shoulder a little? But what if he doesn't like being touched by the maid? After struggling so much from herself, he called his name in a whisper. Master PL? Please wah. Wake up. Her throat got dried in fear. Jungkook still doesn't wake up. She called him many times, but at last she decided to wake him by touching his shoulders. She shook his shoulder a little, and he groaned as her cold hands touched his warm body. YN in a stuttering voice. Master PL. Please W. Wake up. But he couldn't wake up, but this time YN said in a little loud voice and shook him a little hard, but he again groaned in his sleep and moved to the other side of the bed. YN again said, and this time Jungkook opened his eyes and took his gun. As his sleep got disturbed, he pointed it towards YN, and she started shaking in fear. Her tears were flowing down like a river. Jungkook looks at her, and her sleepiness and anger go away just by looking at her. His eyes soften looking at his calming pill. He put his gun down, and YN spoke in her shivering voice. Master IMS. Sorry Y. Yesterday Y. UT. Told me to W. Wake Y. You up. Jungkook observed how her hands and body are shivering, and she is looking down, crying. He got up and wore his shirt, saying, "Good, I like those who respect time," he said in his morning, deep, husky voice. YN got shocked seeing his behavior that a few minutes ago he tried to shoot her, but now he is praising her. Jungkook goes to the bathroom to take a shower, but YN is still standing there. He came out after some time only wearing a towel on his waist, which is covering only his lower body till his knees. He looked at YN and started wearing his clothes, which she chose for him. He wore them without saying anything, but then he called her. Jungkook said looking at her, "Come and make my tie." YN's heart started beating so fast as she don't know how to tie, and if he get to know about it, he will definitely fire her from this job, but she need this job. Jungkook is staring in her soul, and he bent down a little as his body was towering over her. YN starts to do it not knowing how to make the tie, but she is still doing it, but after some minute when she still can't make it. Jungkook seeing her not doing it properly, he said, "What happened? Do it fast. I don't have the whole day for it," he said, maintaining his cold self. Holding tie in her hand, she looks at him and finds him staring at her. She looks down in fear and said in a stuttering voice, "Sorry Master ID, don't K. Know how to." Before she complete her words, Jungkook moves his hand towards her, and she closed her eyes thinking he's going to slap her, but he said something which she never expected from him. "Jungkook, give me the tie, and look at me how I do it, cause I don't tell this twice." Saying that, he showed her how to make a tie. YN wiped her tears and looked at him, who was showing her how to make a tie, and then Jungkook said, "Did you get it?" He said looking at her, and she just nodded her head saying, "Yes. Yes." Jungkook said after making his tie, "Prepare my breakfast, I'm coming in 15 minutes. YN nodded her head and bowed towards him and left from there. Jungkook's POV. Jungkook. Why does my inner beast feel so calm when she is with me? I feel like my soul is getting satisfaction just by looking at her. Why does her existence make me crazy that I forgot everything, and her tears stab my heart so much, like if I don't stop her crying then I will die with guilt. Like I'm gonna kill anyone who ever makes her cry. I think I got my insane love/obsession," saying that he smirked devilishly.